Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. You can now download the podcasters on an app on your Apple or your Android phone. You can also find us on the radio, icradio.media. Thank you again so much for watching any way you'd like. By the way, send an email, Donna at donnasedge.com. If you have ideas for a show, something you'd like for me to do a little research, I'll be glad to do that for you. Research is my name. I love it. So send it on. Did get something from Andrea, and Andrea said, Donna, you talk about all these things that you do out in the yard and planting. It sounds pretty expensive to me. Are you kidding me, Andrea? You apparently don't know me that well yet. So I'm always looking for a way to save money. That's another thing this show is all about. So I have found for you 10 tips for seed starting on a budget. However, before we get started with that, let's go ahead and take a look at a video I did, and you'll see time saving and money saving tips right here. Okay, so we're back. I'm going to show you something you can do to plant seeds. You don't have to have anything all fancy smancy. You don't have to do that. Now these things are really good that have the tops to them that you saw, like this one right here. I used this. It has a top to it. You don't have to have that. Use an old box. I've done that many times, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So I want to plant some more sunflower seeds because I just love sunflowers, and we're also going to plant a few more of the marigolds. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got quite a few seeds. I'm going to use this box right here. I love this. Some of my mason jars came in, and I'm leaving this plastic right here. And what I'm going to do is put dirt in here. Now make sure you use a good potting soil, whether it be for the garden or for inside. I do outside. And also, you want to use peat moss in this too. That's just going to help you with drainage. By the way, if you hear music in the background, that's from our radio station, IC Radio. So if you want some good music, good Christian music, and you just want some background going on while you're working out or whatever you're doing, you can find it on our station. That's icradio.media. Now this is peat moss right here. And I love this stuff. I always make sure I've got a bag of it in here. This is going to help with drainage. Okay, so I'm mixing it up really good. I know I should be using my gloves. Don't tell Phil that I'm not using my gloves. But all this is going to do is help with drainage. Plus, you're using cardboard, which is also a good thing to have. So let's just go ahead. And I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to dump some of this down in the bottom. Okay. And this is some nice, rich soil. You got to have nice, rich soil for this to work. Okay. Now, I'm going to go on ahead. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So, I'm going to put it down in the box, and I'm pressing lightly, okay, because I want to encourage the roots to grow. So, here I go. I'm very lightly. I'm putting that down in the bottom of this box. Okay. I think I need to put a little bit more because I'm expecting some deep, deep roots to come out of this. Because, sunflowers are a wonderful thing, and your bees will love them. The butterflies go crazy. And you can make sunflower seed oil. And so when these things come together, you're going to see what I'm talking about. You and I are going to make some oil that you can cook with. So we're going to do that, made out of all these sunflower seeds that we're planting. Okay, let's go ahead and press it down. Now, not really hard. It needs to be approachable. Okay, now I'm going to use this little tool that I have right here. You could use a fork. You don't have to have this. And as a matter of fact, I probably would have never bought this, but a friend of mine bought it for me. Definitely appreciate that, Karen. Thank you so much for buying this for me. I'm loosening just like you would do outside. You're mimicking outside planting seeds. Okay, so I'm loosening it up just a bit. Now, these are seeds that you saw from a few weeks ago, but I want more. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and plant the rest of these. These are the Mexican sunflowers. And what I'm going to do is just sprinkle some. Doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it at all. This is your garden, okay? And all we're doing is planting some seeds that we're going to be planting out in the garden. And I can't wait. But this is a very fast way of doing it. Your seeds are going to come up pretty quick. And see, this is what your sunflower seed looks like. So when we harvest the sunflowers and the bees get all of the nutrients they want, all the pollen and everything off of that, we're going to let them play with the seeds a bit. When it comes time to harvest, and pretty close to the fall, you and I are going to be making some sunflower oil. Okay, again, I'm just kind of putting it around. I don't want to crowd them because I want the roots to have their own little place in the world, you know what I mean? And you'll have the most success out of gardening when you really think about the roots, because, oops, that one got too close to another one. They'll fight, so I'm going to go ahead and separate them. There they are. All right, so this is a wonderful technique. Now, I'm going to use my hand, and I'm going to pat down again. I'll raise this up so you can see. So I'm going to use my hand, gently pack that down. And what we're going to do is add more soil to the top. I'm not going to add water yet. Okay, all right, now I've kind of packed that down. And the reason I'm doing that just gently is so the seeds won't go anywhere when I'm watering them. All right, let's go ahead and add some more soil. Now, you don't want it too deep, okay? So let's add just enough. And we'll be able to also tell, the one reason I patted it gently is you'll be able to see where I added soil and where I didn't. Okay, now, seeds like to be left alone for a couple of days. You want to make sure they got moisture, and you can just do the touch test. If you touch and it seems to be just a little bit hard, well, then you need to add some water. Don't water them now until they need to be. You don't want to drench it, because what's going to happen is it's going to create issues with those little roots that are going to be coming up. Okay, I'm going to put some more in there. I don't want to saturate it so much, but anyway, I just want to make sure there's plenty of soil on top. Now, when you water these, and I'm not pressing hard now, I'm just gently touching it. Okay, now when you water, you don't want to go overboard watering these, because you don't want to flood it. Okay. Sunflowers are going to be beautiful this year, and you're going to love the way the flies and the birds and everything comes to it. You're going to get birds and butterflies. The butterflies, not house flies, butterflies. And see, I'm even using if you don't have a sprinkler hose, and I don't have water out here in the sunroom, I don't see the point in it, but so I just bring water, and I like my rainwater, so I catch it. Okay, again, I see how I'm sprinkling it. I'm mimicking a sprinkling system. See, you don't have to have a ton of money. You don't have to have a huge irrigation system. None of that stuff. You just do it for yourself. Now, what we're going to do is label it. Okay, I use my pants to wipe my hands off for everything. That's why my clothes are so dirty. Okay, now, I've got these little things right here. And you can just use anything. I mean, you don't have to do what I'm doing. But I found these at the $5 store on 25-cent day, and there's like 100 of them for 50 cents. Can't get much cheaper than that. But now you can go to the Dollar Tree and get them as well. Now, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put on the label exactly what I'm not going to say just sunflowers. I'm going to say Mexican sunflowers. Mexican sunflowers. Okay. And I'm putting the day's date on it. 24, the year 2024, and I'm just going to put it right here to the side. Okay, and it fits real snug and real good in there. So I'm going to keep that there, and you don't have to do this, but I always like to put what the seeds came in. I always like to put that kind of behind it as well. Now what I'll do, I'll go ahead and take this plastic off. I always like to keep it on until I'm ready to do something so I can remember what plastic came from where. Okay, now, I'm going to mimic a greenhouse. I'm putting this here. I'm putting it on top of it. Now what will happen, and I'll move this out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's some one that came from some seeds I'm doing right now. And as you can see the condensation right there, what I'll do every morning, I'm going to take that off. And then I'll just sprinkle it and not waste that condensation. Okay, so this is going to be our sunflowers. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back. Oh, wanted to show you the mint that I planted earlier is doing really good. And because I've got a little label up there so I can remember exactly what that, because if you have as many plants as I do, there's hundreds of them out here. So if you have as many plants as I do, you're going to forget what you had and where. Now after a while you can just look at it, or you can just rub a leaf and smell it. I know that's mint. I'm going to get rid of all the rats that we have around here since we brought the chickens in. Thanks for watching. We'll be back shortly. Okay, so we're back, and you saw that, I mean, really, the easiest way possible, and you would be amazed at the boxes I saved. Now, I wanted to make a point out of this. Okay, so you save your boxes, and you would like to plant seeds inside those boxes. First of all, biodegradable. It's going to just, you can throw it into your compost pile, whatever you want to do when you get finished with it. However, make sure it's not a box that has some kind of a wax coating on it. And also because, I mean, don't use a lot of color if you can get by with that. But anyway, it needs to be a box. And what those canning jars come in is absolutely perfect because they're big, they're thick, they're going to hold a lot of water before they go away. And then again, the plastic top you put on there makes all the difference in the world. Okay, let's go ahead and cut into a commercial break, and we shall return in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there, okay? I'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. Okay, we're back. So back from the commercial break. Thank you again so much for watching. By the way, we have some awesome customers. Make sure you check out Bobby Ledbetter with Twin City Used Car Sales. He's in Gadsden, Alabama now. Great guy. I've had a lot of fundraisers and things with him. Great guy, loves your community, but he's located in Gadsden, Alabama. Check him out on the web at bobbyledbetter.com. So we're talking about 10 tips for seed starting on a budget. So I'm going to help you out here. These are some things I do as well. A couple of things I haven't done before, but I'm going to try it. So one thing you can do is reuse plastic cups. You heard me talking about that just a few minutes ago. Just poke holes in the bottoms, all you have to do. Just save stuff. You have a family get together, and okay, I'm pretending to be my grandmother, what she used to do. So Christmases and whatever, people would bring plastic cups. She would want to save them. That's what she was saving them for. She was saving them for the garden. Again, make sure now that you put holes down the bottom of those plastic cups because the water has got to drain. Otherwise, a nasty word is root rot, and you don't want that to happen to your plants. Okay, now one thing you can do is absolutely buy your seeds for less. Now I'm going to tell you, you can even do it better than that, but let's go ahead and listen to what the author here says. So some seed vendors have great prices and great seeds. So some vendors can sell high quality seeds for less, and for me, less means like between $1.50 and $2.50 a packet, or less than that. A lot of times when a new store opens up and they sell seeds, you make sure you look for their prices because sometimes just to get you in the door and keep you coming back, they'll mark them down to almost nothing. And I know that there's a new Tractor Supply type store that opened up in Albertville, and they had seeds marked down to like 50 cents. You better believe I bought a bunch of them when that happened. Okay, now the seed vendor for quality that they recommend is Pine Tree Garden Seeds. So you better believe I'm going to check that out. So it's Pine Tree Garden Seeds. And she says that she's purchased those for over 20 years, and the prices, selection, and seed quality are always outstanding. Another great reasonable source is Botanical Interest. Their flower seed collection is especially nice. Okay, so other seed sellers often offer a lot of seeds for less. High quality is especially useful for gardeners that grow lots of raw crops like your carrots, your beets, and your beans, and those kinds of things. Also, one of the best low-cost bulk seeds is a company called Franchi Semiti. Let me go ahead and spell that for you, okay? So it's Franchi. Hope I didn't butcher it up too bad. And the other word is Sementi, which is also called Seeds of Italy. But they do sell bulk seeds. I'm going to check that out. They also have fun European vegetable varieties. Packets may cost $4.50 each, but most contain 100 seeds per packet. Okay, so that's a real good value. And then also the Pagano, Pagano seeds is another source that provides a lot of seeds for a real good price. I have bought packets before, and it would seem like a good buy until you saw how many seeds were in it. It might be $1.50 or something like that, and just a few seeds. But seeds are better than buying plants in my book. Okay, number 2 is know what to grow and when. Okay, if it's an out of season something, you don't want to mess with it yet. You're going to be throwing your money away. So your warm season crops like your tomatoes should be started indoors, but not planted outdoors until the threat of frost has passed. I'm aching to get out there right now. I've got tomato plants I can't wait to get into the ground. The seed growers must know when to sow seeds and what to sow indoors in containers or outdoors in the soil. Okay, this knowledge saves you money because if you sow the wrong seeds in the wrong place at the wrong time, they will die or they may underperform. Okay, so let's talk about this one, plants for indoor sowing. Okay, small seeded, warm season vegetables, your herbs and your garden flowers, such as your tomatoes and your peppers, your eggplant, salvia, petunias, impatiens, and your basil are all best sown indoors in containers. So she says she starts with cabbages, kales, and lettuce indoors because they germinate better. I found that to be as well, especially with my wet garden. She says, I generally wait until plants are about 6 inches tall or more before planting them. You don't want to get some little seedling that you've just done and put it out there. It's not going to make it, especially the heavy rains that we have here in Alabama. It just beats the heck out of the garden sometimes. And I have sandy soil, which is almost like having quicksand. So if it rains a lot, I mean, it's going to be awful. Okay, plants for outdoor sowing. So your large seeded, your fast growing plants like those that are sown in rows are best planted outdoors. Cool season vegetables like your peas, your carrots, your beets, and your radishes can be sown outdoors in rows early to mid-spring. Warm season like your large seeded crops and flowers like your beans, your corn, okra, your sunflowers and zinnia can be directly sown in fertile garden soil. So the author says, I tend to start my cucumbers, melons, and squash in 4-inch pots in late spring. They germinate fast, and she says, I let them develop several sets of leaves before planting them into the ground. This is where I differ on the beans. Okay, this is what I found works like exceptionally well. So your beans, if you'll put them on paper towels, now make sure you spread them apart really well, and then you want to start sprouts with them. So what I'll do is put them on paper towels. Now make sure you put the name of the seed, whatever it is. I'm going to start with a new bean seed this year. I can hardly wait to get this bean seed. It's called Dragon Tongue, I think is what the name of it is, and it grows kind of like a bush, and I'll let you know how that turns out. I don't know if you can even grow it. It says you can, so we're going to try it out the first time. Okay, back to germinating and doing bean sprouts. Okay, so going ahead and put those on a paper towel, wet it good. Don't let it just drench in wet, but you want to kind of wet the paper towel, squeeze it just a bit, put it on something plastic or a piece of cardboard or whatever you want, and then put the seeds on it. Again, put them where, because I'm just telling you, I learned this the hard way. So if you put them too close together, what's going to happen is those sprouts are going to start intermingling with each other, and you're going to have a hot mess. You're going to wind up ruining some of your, because those sprouts are actually going to be, yeah, they're going to be down at the bottom of that plant. That's going to be your root. So be really careful. Make sure you spread them apart because they don't get along with each other too well. They start fighting. So spread them apart. And then in just about a week or 10 days, you're going to already have roots, and that's what you want to achieve. You'll already have the roots. Last year, it wound up being a beautiful thing. I mean, it was wonderful. Okay, now reuse and recycle. We talk about that a lot. Frugal growers, you can use tin cans and just put holes down the bottom of it and start a bunch of your plants out of tin cans. This is an awesome thing to do. And this is a great idea. So warm season herbs such as your basil, your rosemary, and your mint, you can put those into tin cans and then plant them outdoors later. Now, frugal growers can cut corners by starting seeds in reused containers, saving pots from previous year's nurseries. Always make sure you got enough space, but if you're going to reuse them, make sure you keep them clean, okay? Because if you had some kind of a disease in that pot, you're going to carry the disease, will last forever. Now, when it's time to upgrade seedlings into their own pots, there's a lot of options, such as your yogurt cups, cut plastic bottles, plastic cups, or washed tin cans with holes punched in the bottoms. Be sure to wash the containers with hot soapy water and rinse very well before you put your seeds and your plants in them. You can actually use toilet paper tubes, paper egg trays, or eggshell containers. And those are great options for starting those small seeds. Number 4, choose cheap stakes and labels. Now, what do we mean by that? Okay, now every kid in school started with beans and sunflower seeds in a plastic bag labeled with a popsicle stick. And you can still do that. I remember doing that. And it's good to use a good pencil for those. But one like big graphite type pencils, because you need to put what they are. Because I promise you, I don't care how smart you are. When you plant hundreds of plants, which I've done hundreds, there's hundreds of them waiting to be put out in the garden, and you're going to forget what tomato it is. Okay, you got your Romas, you got your purples, you got your this, you got your that. But I promise you, I mean, I don't care how brilliant you are, you're going to forget which tomato that was. Okay, so make sure you're going ahead and label them real good. And like just wooden sticks, stuff like that, that's really good. Okay, number 5, soil and fertilizer. If you want strong, happy seedlings, don't skimp on the soil and the fertilizer. So good products will ensure good seedling growth from the start. Black gold seedling mix is ideal for seed starting. And also, fertilization is not needed until sprouts have begun to put on their second or the third set of leaves. Water for success. We talked about that on an earlier show. So when you water, don't overwater, because putting too much water is actually worse than not watering enough. Because again, those roots can't have root rot. Use natural light as much as possible. I put my seedlings right in front. Of course, it's hard to get in and out of the back door. Phil fusses about that all the time. I can't get out of the door. You got all these plants and seeds all over the place. But it faces the south. Spot on. Absolutely perfect. Always harden the seedlings off. Now, hardening off seeds prepares them for the travails of the outdoors. So hardening off means accumulating seedlings from the crushing indoor growing conditions to the tender, weak stems. Give them time to adjust. Maybe put them outside for just a couple hours. Bring them back in, and that's going to help. Knowing when to plant outdoors, make sure you know when you think you're going to have your last frost. Crucial. Okay, spring and fall vegetables. So your cool season vegetables, your seeds and starts can be directly sown into the ground in the spring as soon as the soil can be worked. Your summer veggies, warm season vegetables and herbs should be started indoors. Your perennials, you want to do those indoors. And I'm going to give you the number 1 way to save money. Save seeds. Save them. Okay? Bean seeds are so easy to do. And we're going to have a segment about that after the season. And what I do is I save some of my bean seeds. I save everything. I'll have a tomato. Did you know 1 tomato? You can get so many plants out of a tomato. So what I like to do is get the seeds out of it, and I'll kind of gently wash these seeds in a little colander. And then I'm going to put them on make sure you get all of that gel stuff off, because it doesn't do well. You want to dry them completely. So put them on paper towels. It's going to take you a few weeks sometimes to make sure they're dried completely. And then what you want to do is keep them on that paper towel. And I like to get white paper towels. I don't like to put color. So it's biodegradable. It's going to go into the dirt, and the rest is history. So anyway, that's how you can save money. You don't have to spend a ton of money. Think about 1 tomato plant, one tomato. How many plants you could possibly get out of 1. If you only got 5 plants, if you only got 5, you're saving so much money, because plants have went up in price due to this crazy economy that we have right now. And so be really careful with that. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you next time.